So this is Cyberholic tutorial 1.1.7. In the last video, I installed the user agent or agent plugin so that I can check if someone checks my website from a tablet, a mobile or desktop, and that I only want it to be available on mobile. What I'm going to do now in this video is we are going to install the Fomantic standard sidebar structure. So that the idea is to have a website where you have on the left side the structure of a hamburger menu on the right, so that when you click on the right, that opens up a sidebar. And the Fomantic UI that we are using comes with all of this so that we can put on top a fixed menu and on the left side the sidebar. So for this we are going to the Fomantic website. Fomantic, not Fomantic, FomanticUI.com. And here I was quite astonished with the last video because my Raspberry Pi has only its 4 gigabytes, and it's I was afraid that with Manjaro that I'm running right now, this could be too heavy, but it was okay. So OBS is doing a fabulous job. Everything is fine like that. So I hope that you can follow up. And hopefully sooner or later I will be able to add the mouse and follow so that you don't have to zoom in and out the whole time, and that I can do that for you. Okay, this is the Fomantic UI website. And on the left, we can go to, just let me go on the top, you have the layouts. The layouts, there are a handful of layouts that you can, in theory, copy paste by getting the source code and putting it in your website. But we are going to take it the other approach once that this is loaded. So here you see them. There's a theming, responsive, grid. The responsive template or layout is more just to show you how the responsive functions work, like the grid system, etc. And then on pages you have like they define it as starter page template. So we could just, for example, this is what I want to achieve on the right with the fixed menu, but also with a sidebar. I think it's missing in here. So, but you can really just get in here, copy, paste the source code, and just like with Bootstrap and like these boilerplates or skeletons that you can get to start super easy. But we are going to take it the more difficult approach or more manual approach. And for this, the first thing is if you go to the on the left on Fomantic, where's the sidebar? You will see that there's a certain structure that should be maintained or should be followed. And that is that the sidebar comes before a so-called pusher element. Let me see if I can. Okay, cool. And you know what? I'm going to copy and paste this whole code. So this is faster because with all this manual thing. Okay, so now I'm back on my website. This is the default layout. And you're going to put it in here. Just let me make this, close this one. So I have a little bit more space to show you. This editor has a full screen function that I don't want to use so that you can recognize where I'm moving around with the mouse. But on the lower right, I think if you hit Control F or something like that, was it Control F? Control Shift F, then you can switch to a full screen editor. Another feature coming within here from Winter CMS that you really, it's absolutely developer friendly. So, but I'm going to keep it in here so that you can always see where, if I'm inside the code or PHP, inside the PHP code, the component code, or the HTML standard. So, okay, here's our page. And if you remember it correctly, then if you can remember, then copy this. What is this? Where is it? There it is. No. There it is. I'm going to copy this one-liner here. UI sidebar toggle, so that you can see how the sidebar looks like. For this, I'll have to go back to, where am I? Assets, sorry. And on the left side, I go to Assets, JS, and in JS I should have my cyberholic.js. Okay, this is where my custom scripts are inside. So get in there. And I'm going to copy it in here. Just to make the things a little bit more beautiful. You're beautiful to me. Okay. I'm just going to break this up apart. And oops, I saw 23. And call this standard Fomantic UI so that we can separate the stuff in here. Okay, what's going to happen now is that as soon as the page loads, it's going to load the cyberholic.js file and instantly toggle the sidebar. What sidebar? The sidebar that has been defined with UI sidebar. Because inside our code, we are currently just and now the sidebar should toggle. There it is. Okay. Instantly it just opened up, and if I click on the dimmed page, then yeah, it closes it again. And because we don't have any hamburger menu or any other button calling the sidebar, it can't pop up anymore until I reopen the page. What I suggest you to do is to give the sidebar a name, because you could have a sidebar on the left, on the right, on top, on the bottom. You can have 4 sidebars at the same time. You can have 200 sidebars. You can even define in semantic. You can define if you want the sidebar to be unique, no, exclusive. That's the word, I think. Meaning, as soon as you click on another button, then the already open sidebar is going to be closed, so that you only have one sidebar. But in theory, you can show several sidebars at the same time. So I'm going to call this sidebar main menu. Main menu. Or even better, for keeping it more semantic-like, menu main. You mini mo, my menu main mo. Sidebar menu sidebar menu mini, and add it in here. So now let's see if this is going to work out like that or not. Refresh the page. Drink some water. And it doesn't work. Why not? Because okay, here it's called sidebar menu main. Why does this not work? Just let me see if it's because of the forced class definition. Sidebar menu main. Just copy and pasted it. Oh, is it always, if it's not going to work right now, it might be a cache problem. No, it works. Okay. So I suggest that you define give each sidebar that you use, if you are going to use several ones, that you give each sidebar a unique name, so that you really can also, maybe if you want to define some style sheets for each individual sidebar, that you can have it like that. So now let's see how we can open this up with an on-click. And for this, what I always do, because I forget how this works, I open up a new tab, and there it is. This is really, really slow. But my CPU is at approximately 100%. My memory is about 90%. So the Raspberry Pi is sweating. What I usually do is find a Stack Overflow entry about jQuery click versus on-click. Because the on-click option is that dynamically created buttons can be more easily found, can be found, while with the other option, if you don't use that, then dynamically created buttons or content will not be triggered. So the idea here is that you start jQuery, then, for example, I always define the body. This is the Stack Overflow entry, difference between on-click versus click, and write the first answer here coming from, who's the guy or the girl? I can't see her now. Can't see it right now. Here he is. Thank you, Mr. André Ister. He explains it super well in here why you should always use the on-click. Here it is. With the above, a single handler for all elements that match your selector include the ones created dynamically. So that, use this one. So I'm going to copy this and go back to our JavaScript file. Let's open up the page, the whole page, refresh the browser. It would be great if OBS could have something like an browser refresh reloading time indicator. Okay, now our sidebar does not open up because we have put it on click. And if I click on it, nothing works. Fantastic. So what I usually do when nothing works is, oh wait, let me save this. It hasn't been saved. Was this the reason? But toggle. Just let me see if this was the reason. I'm too lazy right now to check the inspector and see if I'm missing anything. Okay, I'm going to check the inspector. You nasty little inspector, West Yara. It could be also a cache situation again with either with Firefox, with Winter CMS. Okay, the console does not pop up any error. So where is my error? Where is my error? But toggle menu, body on click. What? Sorry. Where is my error? But toggle main menu. But toggle main menu. Sidebar menu main. Sidebar menu main. I can't really currently see where the error is. Sidebar menu main. Sidebar menu main. So I'm going to check these words, sidebar menu toggle. What I'm going to try out now is put in here a simple alert just to see if the button works at all. Alert 1. Okay. Ha! The alert doesn't work. Why not? Let me just force refresh. Maybe the JavaScript file has not been loaded, so let's see. I just did a force refresh and it doesn't work also. Where is it? Let me see. Why does body on click, but Jesus. This dot, there it is. There's a missing dot because I defined a class and I forgot the dot. Okay, refresh the page now. Oh man, Jesus. And now I forgot to remove the alert, so we are probably going to have an alert first. Also not, oh, I know my Raspberry Pi is still working, is working, and nothing happens. Yeah, there it is. My Raspberry Pi is at 150% CPU. Okay, so it works. I was just missing the dot for defining the class within the button. So that was the error. Okay, so now we have this. And now we need a fixed menu. And for this, we can go back to the, where is it? Fomantic UI page. And here somewhere is the menu on the left. Where is it? Menu. I'm just thinking because it took so long. I think that I'm going to, oops, sorry. I'm just going to, my phone is ringing. I'm just going to copy and paste the whole thing, I think, of the fixed menu. But as you can see on the Fomantic website, there are several examples how a menu could look like or should look like. It's the same as with the sidebar. We will define some items, and you can define some right floating items so that you can have it on the right side. On the left side, you can put up a name or whatever. I think this is, we are going, just let me check a super simple example. I think it's going to be this one. Without the without the drop downs. Now this is even easier. I'm going to take this one. Whoops, sorry. So I open up the code, copy it. And if I remember, it's just simply by putting it on a fixed class, and then everything should be fine. The important thing about this is that the fixed menu, oh, you see, I forgot it. Let me see if, I think that it must be outside the pusher, because otherwise the menu would also be pushed. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure it needs to be outside our pusher element, because otherwise Okay, why is it a button now? Ah, because my failure, because it's not, we should not call it a button. We can call it a simple div or whatever you want. Div, it's not a button, it's an item. UI, no, sorry. Icon, button, item. This is it. We could also make just a simple I think I'm going to change this to an anchor tag. There you can you see it right now, and it should work. Let's see if it works. Oh, the alert. I'm such an idiot. Okay, so we are opening and closing our button with an alert. Just let me. Gosh. Whenever something with my script does not work, I always use alerts. You get much more data and information and error, fail information from within the console, but I'm always too lazy to open up the console, the developer console. So, okay, here's our button. I click on it, and as you can see it, bam. So this is how you add a sidebar and a top fixed menu to the page. I just want to show you one thing that we have to change from within the CSS of our project. If I remove all those break rows that I have inserted in here, save it again, then you're going to see that this hello world, it's going to be cut. I'm just going to write another hello again, another text in there so that you're going to see that it's cut off. And it's cut because of this fixed menu. So we have to define within the style sheets of our project. Here you can see it right now, that the hello world does not, even the hello again can't be seen. So that we really have to first of all make a margin from within the body to change that. For this, we go to the assets of our project and there to the CSS part. Oh, I have not defined a theme yet. Okay. So then I'm going to call it serverholic.css. Style CSS or whatever you want. And if I remembered correctly, we could just say body, but then it's going to be for everything. So I'm going to try to go with the pusher and say pusher margin top 90 pixels. And if this is not going to work out, then I will have to get the developer console and see if I must use a padding or if the pusher is, I don't know how the pusher is integrated into semantic. So as you can see, it did not work. So I'm going to call the inspect the element. Unfortunately, you can't see it right now, but what I'm doing is I'm trying to find out how or maybe, wait, maybe the pusher did not, the CSS file was not, I'm such an idiot. If I had to define the CSS, then I'm absolutely certain that I have not defined the CSS style file within my, within my header. Here it is. So what we do is copy this line, assets CSS, and call it Serverholic CSS. Okay. refresh, and let's see if it's working now. It doesn't. It still doesn't work. So inspect the element. Let's inspect the element, and I'm inspecting now to see if the pusher class has been loaded or not. As I said, because I don't know how the pusher is loaded, but it's, I have to, here it is. It hasn't been loaded, why not? Pusher. The problem is that I don't know how it's loaded. Just for the sake to not make this video too long, I'm going to put it in the body so that you can see that how it works like, or how it looks like. But I think with the body I should use padding and not margin, because yeah, nothing's above the body. Maybe the head. So it's refreshing. Okay, I have to use padding. Padding top. Save it. Maybe 90 pixels are not enough. It doesn't work. What the hell is going on? Let me see if the pusher class has... No, where is it? Body. Margin 0? What's going on here? I'm loading my CSS class after. Just let me see if I go here, padding. Right now I'm inserting them inside the, I can't believe this. It works, but it looks like my CSS is not being loaded. Could that be? Just let me check if I snowboard assets. Where's my CSS? I'm just going to open up my CSS and see. Oh, Jesus. I don't know how to choose this within, what is it called? Firefox. So I have to do it right here, copy and paste it, and see if it's loaded or not. Page not found. So where's the CSS? Cyberholic.css. Why cyberholic.css? Where's the error? I don't get it. He says that my style sheet has not been found. Ah, shit. Okay. Theme Cyberholic, assets, CSS, Cyberholic, CSS. Where have I insert? Oh. Okay. Do you see your file name? Correct, right? Cyberholic.css. Do you see it on the left side? No, because I've forgotten to put it in the right folder. I have put it in the root, and now it should pop up in here. Also not. Now it's working. Okay. We can go with body and see if currently I have set up the padding to all 4 sides. That's something that you don't want. But now it's working. So I'm going just to, I know padding top. I thought I had a padding for the whole page, but 90 is too much. We could use the inspector, but I'm just, for the sake of the length of this video, I'm just going to halve this up with 45, save it, refresh it, and here it is. I don't like to use padding or margin directly within HTML or the body. So I'm certainly going to change this later to use within the pusher or somewhere else. But as you can see now, the whole hello again can now be viewed. One thing that you should remember is that this height might be a little bit different depending on not the screen resolution. What was it? The density of the mobile phone? It could be like 2 or 5 pixels more or less. So that that's what happened to me. So what I always do is just like take a little bit more space than that. Oh, and as you can see right now, because I opened it up, the dimmer had reset the pusher. Just let me check that, because this is something that I don't like to be so incorrect about this one. So I'm going to put it right now directly into the pusher. Now that I know that the file is being loaded, let me see. This could be that the pusher, opening the side panel of Fomantic UI resets the body margins and paddings. I'm not sure what's going on in there. So let's see if it's going to stick with that. I have now set it up in the pusher. So I open it and close it. Okay, and everything stays the same. So that you have to use this difference of the height of this menu. You have to use it in the pusher, with the pusher. And as I said, use a little bit more space than that. I use now 45, but I'm going to pump this up to 55, even 10 pixels more, because of the height of certain of the if you don't define a font, what we haven't until now, I think, then it could be that the space is not that good. And 55, I like it like that. Okay, so this was it. This is on how to create a side panel in a fixed menu, and our page is growing step by step. Thanks for watching. Until next time.